We're live!
Woo! Welcome everybody out there in podcast land. I'm Mixlam. He is the Miles Revolution. We are two freaks doing a show. Back again at our regular time. We're always here live. It's 6 o'clock Pacific, 7 o'clock Mountain, 8 o'clock Central, and 8 o'clock for all you in the East Coast. Different times for all you people.
Sorry, 9 o'clock
different
East Coast.
9 o'clock East Coast. Yeah. And different times for all you other folks all over the world. Miles, remember the one time we had the viewer in the chat, and where were they from? Like Netherlands or something? I don't remember. They were far away, though.
Yeah.
They're far away from where we are.
Yep. Well, we've had, the UK, Netherlands, Newfoundland, or something. And the guy from Ukraine, wherever he was from, or at the time, Taiwan or someplace, Turkey. I don't remember. But
yeah, we've had a real international audience.
That's right. We love it.
Yeah, we do love it. I mean, I'd venture to say I wouldn't be surprised if half of our viewers are outside the U.S. at this point.
Well, that's okay with me. I don't care where they come from.
I don't care where you come from either. We accept people from all different nations here.
That's right. I know that this is a different topic, but I mean, I've even had a song that I wrote that was played in New Zealand on a Christmas radio show.
Nice.
So, you never know who's going to do what. So,
yeah, you never know who's going to do what. You never know who's watching. You never know who's listening.
That's right. And hopefully they tell the friends.
So, Miles, what do we think about this?
Well,
a couple episodes this week.
Well, Tuesday, I was looking at my list of all the top 5, and with the exception of one act, I think I was right on for the top 5.
So I'm going to come right out and say there were 5 acts that were far and away better than every other act. No act should have sniffed the top 5 but these ones. And I'm going to tell you what they are. Okay. I've got them written down right here on my handy dandy notes.
All right.
Number 5, Steel Panther. Number 4, Andrew Stanton. Number 3, Ahren. 2, Ryland. 1, Murmuration. Everybody else was miles away from these. Nobody else should have even come close to a top 5.
Wait, you said here, Murmuration,
Steel Panther, Andrew, Ryland, and Ahren. In fact, not only were these the best 5, they were the only good 5. There weren't even other good acts.
Yeah, but Steel Panther didn't make it in the top 5. Are you surprised about that?
Yeah, I am surprised about that because these 5 were just so good. Like, they were all, genuinely good. And every other act wasn't even good. Most acts weren't even average. I even like last week's dog act better than this. That was good.
Well, I was thinking about this Steel Panther thing.
Yeah.
And I will give it to you. They put on a show.
Yeah.
They weren't just up there singing. They just weren't up there playing a guitar or their bass or their drums. They put on a show. I mean, leave all the pyrotechnic stuff out of it. They put on a show. And I can't even remember the song, whether I liked the song or hated the song. And you know what? And that's what a real performer does. They entertain you. And the song almost becomes insignificant.
Yeah, they're entertaining. And you say, even if you weren't the biggest fan of their music, they put on a good show. So if you're in Vegas and you got free tickets and you went, you would probably be entertained.
Yeah. Yep.
And I happen to think the song was all right. I like their first song better, but I'm a little biased because I've heard some Steel Panther in the past, and they're really not a family-friendly band. So it's another one of those things where it's a little surprising. They're on AGT because they even said they have to change some of the lyrics.
Yep, they did say that.
So yeah, I'm a little surprised of some people that come on to a family show that really aren't geared to family audiences, but they probably say we'll be geared to a family audience if you pay us to be geared to a family audience.
Right. I would do the same. Well, actually, that's the only way I'd do it. But yeah.
Wait, well, really, what you should say is you'll be paid not to be geared towards the family audience, and we're not even sure if that's true. So you and Steel Panther are nothing alike.
Nope. I'd have to get a little bit of makeup first.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny. I was talking to my daughter today because we met and had a chat with Jerry of the Misfits.
Okay. Oh, really?
Do you know who they are?
The Misfits?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, the band?
Yeah. So Jerry and then his manager were in my booth at a trade show, and they were having a conversation. I don't remember what it was, and then I went and listened to some of their music, and they're really not that bad. I mean, it's not really my style of music, but once again, it's all about the show, and they did an awesome job. This Jerry and his manager, who I think is a drummer of the Ramones.
Yeah, so let me just apologize to everybody watching on behalf of Miles who doesn't know who the Misfits are. The Misfits are one of the most classic punk bands. I mean, they're up there with the Clash and the Ramones, and I mean, everybody knows the Misfits.
Yeah, but it's all about the show, and he did it. I mean, and I don't want to go necessarily and rag on anybody too badly, but I remember was it Simon's comment for Dani Kerr, where he said,
right.
It's like you're playing at a bar, and that he was spot on with that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, not that she was awful or anything, but it was just like a bar act. And I think if she would get away from that microphone and maybe stop playing the guitar, because one of the things I think about if you're a front person, you have to almost be a person. If you carry a guitar, you're really doing it just for show. I mean, you may play a few notes on it once in a while, but you better be moving around and putting on a show.
Yep. All right. Well, should we get going and see what we got for this week?
Yeah, let's put up our little slideshow here.
Sky Ranger says most music is better live in the chat. I agree. I love concerts. One of my favorite things to do.
But once again, if it's a bar performance, then everybody's going to be doing something else.
Yeah. So,
well, our first act, Atlanta Drum Academy, and I was, a bunch of nice kids. Now, something that I noticed as I was following them or putting down their follower numbers, they actually lost like 5,000 followers on one of their social media platforms. So the only reason it went up because on a different platform, the numbers went up. But that's really not very good numbers for as much media as they got.
Yeah, and being the golden buzzer and all those.
Yeah. So
yeah, there are a lot of hype. I say I don't like commenting on the kids too much when I'm not fans, because I'm just not a fan of this. Okay, I'm not a fan of them going through. I think I probably said something similar to this when we saw the auditions. They just seem like they would be good at a halftime show of a college football game or something like that. But I have zero interest watching this as a show.
Right.
And it's just boring to me. For 10 minutes during halftime and we're eating popcorn and nachos and clapping and they're getting the crowd pumped up for the second half of the game, sure. But not as a standalone thing.
Yeah. And I don't want to knock them for being a bad act, because they're not a bad act.
They're not a bad act.
Yeah, they're just not a Las Vegas act. I wouldn't pay like you to go listen to them.
And I just don't think they're a stage act, period.
No.
I don't think this is something people pay to go see.
No.
It's like people don't pay to see marching bands. They're a draw in a parade or at a halftime of a football game or something, but people don't buy tickets to drum lines.
Yeah, they do.
They do?
Uh-huh.
Never heard of this in my life.
Yes, like actually Portland, I don't know if they still do it, because I went to several band festivals and we bought tickets. It was in the baseball field. I didn't remember what it's called there.
Then this is just just pro people, or is this like
no
high school
bands.
people, and then like is this like high school people and then they're all their parents buy tickets?
Yes.
Okay, well, yeah, if all their parents, if it's a high school type of thing, that's different.
But there are drum and bugle corps where people actually go and see too.
Well, they're not that popular. There's no way they're that popular.
You're right on that.
Who's watching in the chat? Tell me that these tell me who you know has ever bought a ticket to this. But maybe you're right. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this kind of stuff is more popular than I'm getting any credit for. Yeah. But to me, I don't know. I can never picture buying a ticket to this. If my kid's in it, sure. Yeah. But I'm never just going to go watch the Atlanta Drum Academy for $30.
I agree. If my kids are in it, sure. So in any case, I was kind of bent a little bit wrong when they made it to the top 5. But apparently America voted and they ended up in the top 5. So, not
deserving.
So, but moving on. Sharpe Family Singers. Now, I am kind of surprised that they didn't make it into the top 5 just because of their social media numbers. Not because of their act. Now, I think that they're all nice people and they are a family act. And I think they have their niche on TikTok or, social media. And I think that's their market. And they have over 10 million followers.
I cannot even with these guys. This family singer business. I was so scared they were going to be top 5. And this is a straight up joke. I will tell you this. I'm like, what is going on here? The only thing I could think, and no offense to all you Christian people out there who love Jesus and whatnot, but all I could think of was this just sounds like a family band at a church singing Christian music. Yeah, whatever that song choice was just out of left field. If they were singing a Christian hymn or something and they sing at a mega church, I can picture that. I can picture them with a Christian music video. But a pop group or a rock group or whatever the heck they're trying to be, like, no way.
They're not. No.
It seemed, and the way they're dressed and the way they sing, it seemed like a joke. I don't know if I'm supposed to take this seriously.
Well, I know they compared them to the Partridge Family, but I don't think the Partridge Family would have made it on this show either.
But that's where the thing is. It's dated. If this would have come out in 1974 and we were watching, I'd say, okay, maybe. You have things like the Brady Bunch and the Partridge Family and the Osmonds and the Jackson 5. This is a thing. Looking weird and goofy and singing like this, that's a thing. Today, the Osmonds would have never made it. The Partridge Family, they would never make it on today's TV.
No.
It's that stuff would just look funny now. You don't stand up there with your mom and dad with a big smile and dance around singing. Like, who thinks this is cool? So if you're at a mega church, Joel Osteen is giving a sermon and there's 40,000 people in the arena, then you guys get up and sing this hymn and everybody loves it. I can see that. But I can't see this mainstream success at all.
No. They do have a niche, and so they should stick with that niche, I think. So, and they have a following. So, fine. Be there. Let's move on from them. 3G, the act that somehow got through, and at least they didn't fall down this time. Even though while I was watching this act, it seemed to be pretty shaky, and I was wondering the whole time, are they going to fall? I mean, so it didn't really seem like a stable act, something they could do again. It would be questionable whether they could do it again. And I don't want to knock them. I mean, kudos to them that they made it through, but it didn't. I was afraid that they wouldn't.
So there's two ways to vote, at least. There is just looking at the act itself and judging it upon its merits, or there's taking a composite work. I'm the latter. A lot of people are the former. So when I watch them, I have to take their first act into account. I always take everything into account because I'm looking at potential too. First off, they should have never got through because they fell.
Right.
But like you, I noticed the same thing. This whole performance felt shaky. I love their outfits and I like the performance itself, but it felt to me, given as what we saw before, and given the shakiness of this performance, it didn't feel like an acrobat or a balancing act. This felt like a danger act to me. Because the whole time I was like, oh, are they going to fall and break their neck? Are they going to drop each other? And that's not what I'm usually thinking during these acts. I'm usually thinking, wow, you can balance on someone's head. That's awesome. This, when they did something, I'm like, whoa, can you hold that for more than 2 seconds without falling? And
Right.
that is not the reaction you want from the audience.
Correct. Now, maybe down the road they'll polish it up and be better. I'm just saying at this point in time, it wasn't impressive to me.
Yeah,
So.
I just wasn't into it. I mean, I'm biased against it because they already shouldn't have gone through. And then they were there and I just wasn't that impressed. And so, yeah.
Okay, well, that's enough of Trio 3G. Erica Coffelt. While I was watching this, I know you've made your comments before that, she's really not that great of a dancer.
Yeah.
And the thing that kind of was to me really interesting about it is when her backup dancers came on, I thought, wow, look at those backup dancers. They're really smooth.
Okay, so we had the exact same thought.
So the backup dancers are actually better than she was.
Yeah, that was my exact thought. I turned to my wife and I said, "Here's the problem with this act: is your backup dancers are making you look worse."
But once again, she has a niche. It was interesting when she made the comment about having 2.5 million followers. Well, her follower count hardly even changed with her being on the show. So that's really not a big increase considering what her social media followers already were. So I know she said that number on the show to make it look like she's all of a sudden famous, but she's just not any more famous than she was.
Sky Ranger just said in the chat, you guys are too hard on them. I don't know who them is, if it's everybody, but if it's everybody, then yeah, I just say none of these people are good so far. This first half of this show was so rough for me. It was so rough. It was like hard for me to watch. This, I don't know if it was better or worse dancing than the audition, but this one bothered me more because the first one was authentically her and what she did. This, I'm not sure what this is. What is the rebranding all of a sudden into this hip hop style? This is not even what she does. So I was entirely confused of why are you going into 1991 MC Hammer mode? Who is we always talk about who is your audience? Is your audience just MC Hammer fans from 1991? Because this doesn't look anything like Missy Elliott or somebody cool or something. I have no idea I have no idea what she's even going for here.
Well, okay, too hard on them. What we're hard on them about is, are they a Las Vegas act? So it doesn't mean that we hate them or think that they're bad, or it doesn't mean that we don't think they already have a niche, because she already has one. She has followers. And so the part that we're being hard on is just that they shouldn't be going on in the show. I mean,
they don't belong in the show.
Not a life you might as well give up and go hide in a closet the rest of your life. Simon would say that. You want to stop dancing.
Yeah, somebody could say I don't belong on CNN, but I might belong on Two Freaks doing a show. Maybe this is my niche.
There you go. Exactly.
I'm not ready for prime time cable news.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not hating on you. I mean, she's got a lot more followers than either of us do.
Right.
She has a niche, but she doesn't belong on AGT. Gavin over in the YouTube chat, I like Erica more than most people. It's a bit funny, but still absolutely doesn't belong on the show. It's a social media act only.
Exactly.
Yeah, I agree with half of that. Yeah, I don't really like the act at all, even as a social media act, but it obviously is one. So what do I know?
Right. And people like it, so that's fine.
Yeah, they like it.
Yeah. Well, so is this the point where the show turned, is when Alfie came on?
No, it was still bad. This is the point where I said, I put this in my notes right here with Alfie Andrew. And I will quote, "This episode is a big joke so far. What is AGT trying to do to me?" That's what I wrote at this point.
Well, Alfie, he wasn't necessarily super impressive, but he did halfway decent. And the thing to me that was really significant is his social media follower increase. He got basically being a nobody to having 118,000 more followers than he had in the beginning, and that's Ahren had about the same increase, which is on the next slide, I think. So he's got a market, he has a follower base, and so he'll go someplace. I'm not sure what market he'll end up in, but and then I told my wife, well, let's see what happens when his voice changes.
Yeah. I mean, how many singers that start out young continue to have a lot of success after their voice changed? Not many.
Donny Osmond.
Yeah.
That's
Michael Jackson's the obvious. Donny Osmond, yeah, but it took Donny Osmond like decades to get kind of popular again.
Yeah.
Other than that, I don't really know who.
Well, Leanne Rimes was more popular when she was young, and then when she got older, I mean,
but
actually,
still, yeah, Leanne Rimes. How old? She was probably like 14 or something when she her first hit. But this kid's what, 12?
Something like that.
11?
Yeah. So I mean, since he's got his follower base, he can't. I think he'll go someplace. I'm just not how far he'll go, but he'll go someplace.
Oh, Justin Bieber. That's somebody who stayed popular.
Who?
I mean, his first song, he was like 12 or 13.
Who?
Justin Bieber.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, his first song, Baby, 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 oh. That's my singing ability. But that song, I think he was like 12, 13 years old. So,
yeah.
Sky Ranger says over in the YouTube chat, being a young boy helps with the market.
It does.
I think it does help. I think
it's true.
I think girls by and large follow more than boys.
Probably. You're probably right.
I would assume if you're looking at girls, or if we look at like kids, let's say 10 to 13 years old, I bet there's a lot more 10 to 13-year-old girls that are following people than boys. I don't know if that's true, but I would assume so. And I would assume they follow people like this.
Well, or they follow people of the opposite sex.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, they follow people of the opposite sex, but usually that are doing something, right?
Yeah.
Singing. And you don't have to have a great voice. They just got to like you.
Right. Now, his act, I think, would improve if he was moving around a little bit more. And I kind of wonder if the producers make some of these singers stay in one spot. Say, I don't want you to walk around that stage.
Well, he wasn't like we were talking about. He's not a performer.
No.
You know, before we were talking about people that perform, I think that's one of the reasons this was boring to me. I thought the second half was better than the first half. Howie called it the best act of the night, which perhaps, but that's not saying really much. Because I thought everything was horrible up to this point. So,
but still, he's got a great start at 12 years old.
Sure.
So, I mean, this is what an opportunity. I mean, so maybe
he can go somewhere.
Performer. He's still got this is a great opportunity. So, you know, I don't want to. The age and youth is that helps the market, like you said. So,
yeah, I think 12-year-old boys will generally get more votes than 12-year-old girls. I think. But somebody who's more of a AGT historian than me can tell me if that is right or wrong. Yeah, but it just seems like they do.
I wish I would have tracked all these social media numbers for years ago, but I didn't. So anyway, I guess we'll move on.
Let's see McGavin's comment there in the YouTube chat.
I thought Alfie was better in auditions. A good part of his performance on Tuesday was really flat. I still predict he would make the top 5, though, because I know the voting base from overtime. Yeah, I put him in the top 5, but I didn't put him in the top 5 because of how good he was. I just put him in the top 5 because of his social media numbers.
Yeah.
Whether I liked him or thought he was any good or not. So, yeah.
Right. See what we got with Ahren.
Yep. I put him in the top 5 too. And I thought he was really funny. I really liked his act.
No, super funny. Like I said, he's in my top 5.
Yeah.
I put him number 3, but it's debatable. I could have put him. I mean, anywhere he goes within that 5, 1 to 5, I'm not going to be mad at. And I think I said this before, also during the auditions. He is just so unique. I've never seen a comedian this unique. Who thought you could be funny, not even talking, and just having automated voice? That is almost, to me, is almost impossible.
Right.
For anyone to do. And him being disabled and having so much confidence about it just makes it work so much, because you hear that AI voice, but it seems like his real voice. I feel like he is talking. I don't feel like I'm just listening to a recording.
Well, he's got it. He must be pretty intelligent.
Yeah.
He does a really good job of thinking this stuff through.
And the timing. We always say comics are about timing. And he has that timing down. And the dog is so funny. Whenever they showed the dog, I would start to laugh. And if you would have told me, you would just have this dude up there that can't talk, that has all these disabilities and uses robot voice and brings his service dog up there, and sometimes he'll make jokes about the dog, I'd be like, oh, this is going to be a sob story, and everybody will just give him some golf claps to make him feel good. But I'm not. Like, this is a legit, like, person I would go see in a comedy club. This is really good. Yeah. Well, it's almost impossible to do.
I've seen some of his other videos that he has out there, and he's not always. Some of his other acts are a little bit less family friendly.
Sure,
but he's still funny.
Yeah,
and I still remember his comment something to the effect of, well, vote for me or the dog's not going to get anything to eat or something like that.
And if him and Sofia can actually hook up, that would be such a good story.
Yep.
I'd like,
yep.
what I'd really like to happen, and if they're listening, or if any of you know these people, I'm volunteering Miles and I right now to have Ahren and Sofia both on the show. And we can do a short segment. We can do a 5 to 7 minute thing. But I'd like to just have both of them and we can talk and we can just hash some things out and see if maybe there's a connection. If there's not, it's fine. But if there is a connection, it would be from here. And so if anybody knows Sofia or Ahren, tell us, get in touch with us so we can have them on.
Okay.
I
kind of wonder how his responses would be. Were they pre-programmed or would he had to type them in?
Well, I have that same question because I'd like to ask Ahren this. I'd like to get a hold of this guy.
Yeah.
Because it looks like his things are pre-programmed, like his act, but they do ask him questions on stage.
Right.
And he responds. So are those program responses? Or is there some way that he has like a shorthand of typing? Like kind of how court reporters can type out, 5 sentences with a few buttons. I wonder if there's some sort of way that he can text and it knows phrases or something.
I actually thought about that because my observation on this show is they ask him a question, but they don't give him time enough to go find the response.
Sure.
So it's almost like they cut him off before he gets the response that he wants to give. So they're just a little impatient, but he's got to figure it out. I don't know if he developed that himself, the software or whatever he does, but it's still awesome. He's got his act together. So.
Okay, and McGavin says over in the YouTube chat here, Ahren is going to make the top 5 in the finale too. He's so likable, and there needs to be a comedian that goes that far. McGavin, I'm going to give you this one. I disagreed with you a little about Dancing Erica, but funny Ahren here. This guy, I think, is going to be top 5 in the finale.
I agree.
I wouldn't be shocked if he won. I don't think he'll win, but I wouldn't be shocked. But top 5, I think, is definitely there, and he'll have a show. I mean, he'll be on the AGT tour.
Yep.
Yeah, and he is. He's just so likable. It's hard not to like him. I mean, how would you not like him? He doesn't even talk. So, I mean, he has a dog, and he's just up there, and he looks nice, and there you go.
Yeah. Well, I like him. He's a likable guy, so it seems.
I like him.
Yeah.
So, Ahren, come on with us if you're watching. Bring Sofia with you, and let's see what we can work out.
Yeah. Dani Kerr. I mean, it was a nice thing to listen to, but I could just imagine sitting and talking to someone while she's playing.
Yeah, this is, to me, average song. It didn't do her any favors that Ahren went before her because Ahren was the first one that I liked, and then I feel like we went backwards again, so I was let down. Yeah, average song, average voice, not bad. I don't have anything bad to say about her, but I could have been sitting in any coffee shop in the U.S. talking to somebody, and this is going on in the background. I could be walking around the airport. This person could be standing there with people dropping tips in the jar. That's what this was.
Right.
Not bad, but nothing. I don't even remember the song now. I just remember it was average.
Well, this is back to the entertainer part. If she would do something else to make the act memorable other than just the song, I think it would help out. If she had even a little bit of hip shaking or I don't know, something to get out of that microphone and the guitar spot that she was in. She had to get out of that box.
Yeah. And I don't know why more of these acts don't. I think some of these I understand the younger people, they just don't have the practice
Right.
for stage presence. But these singer-songwriters, it's like they think they like have to stand there instead of perform.
Yep.
And I want to see you do something.
Yep, that's me. I remember going to see Aaron Tippin. I don't know if you know who he is. He's a country singer.
I don't know him.
Okay, well, in any case, he doesn't even have that good of a voice, but he puts on a show once again, and I don't even remember half the songs he sings. I just remember, wow, that guy is really a great performer, moving around, putting on a show when he was getting out his guitar with a flag on it, or Stars and Stripes, and all these things that he did while he sang the songs or while he, did a show. And but that's what it's about. I mean, that's very entertaining. You got to do something else than just stand.
Yeah. Speaking of country bands that are entertaining, there's an old band. They're in the 80s and 90s, and when they were bigger. And I don't really like country music much. And I'd never heard of these guys, but my wife wanted to go, and they were around. Named Sawyer Brown. You heard of Sawyer Brown?
Yeah.
Yeah, they had songs Some Girls Do. I think it was their big song.
Some girls do. Okay.
Yeah. And anyway, I got tickets for it.
All right.
I'm like, this is going to be horrible. And I liked it. And I don't even like country, but it was such a good performance, and the crowd was into it. And the guys sound good, and everybody's dancing around. And I go, I could get behind this. I wouldn't buy the album, but I'm here, and it was worth the price of admission for somebody who knew none of the songs.
Yeah.
And that's what I want to see on this. I want to see you do an original song, me not know what the song is, and me go, that was fun.
Yeah. And that's the difference. I mean, we actually went to another concert where this girl opened up, and I guess she's kind of popular, but she was boring to watch. And then the real act came on, which was Aaron Tippin and Colin Ray and everything. It's like, oh my goodness, what a contrast. Oh no, that was a different show. But in any case, it's still a contrast of the moving around on stage and putting on a show, and you got to do it. And then the song almost becomes insignificant. Nobody even cares what the song was, unless it was a really good song. They might remember the song too. But I want to be entertained, not just sit and listen to live music.
That's why they say, "Are you not entertained?"
So that's it.
Yeah.
So keep singing, but you got to get away from that mic. Put on a headphone microphone or something. Get away from that mic stand, or away from the guitar. All right, Ryland. He is only 10, and maybe my wife was saying that some of his moves and stuff weren't very smooth, but oh my goodness, he's 10 years old. Why should I be whining? So this guy has a future.
Yeah.
Even though he didn't get that far, and he may be back in 5 years or something.
He's very well could be a wild card. He's in the running.
Yep.
Because they do the one wild card at the end of all this. Yeah, I vote a little different than most people because I'll do composite voting. I like the first audition better than I like this, but I still love this. I still put him number 2, best of the night for me. I love seeing his dad. His dad's a friend of the show. He was on here before with us, all the way from England.
Yep.
And yeah, Ryland's just a fun kid. And sure, he's not that smooth, but he doesn't have to be smooth because part of the act is that he's a kid. If this was a 50-year-old person up there doing this act, it wouldn't have been as cool. But because he's a little kid and the Harry Potter thing, and it all seems like a little bit goofy, it just works because the trick itself is so cool. I still don't know how they do them, but the trick is cool, and it's just part of him being young works for me. It just adds to it.
Yep.
And he's actually really good. Harry Potter, so I don't know what the theme was.
As far as keeping his composure and not fumbling over his words and everything, I mean, he's got it, and he'll just be better. Give him a year or two more, 5 years, 10 years, and he'll be just as popular as Shin Lee or Shin Lim or more. This guy's going places.
The funny thing is, during the results show, when they're showing everybody, he looks the least nervous out of everybody. He has this like weird look, like he just doesn't care that much. Like his dad, definitely. And everybody else on stage, they're like, when they get to, ready to announce, everybody's like, ooh, and they show him, he's just like staring at the camera. He's like stone faced the whole time. And it's pretty impressive, the composure he has for his age.
Yeah. So
because when they announce him, he doesn't break down crying. Like he's not overly emotional or anything. They announce him, he's like, "Oh yeah, okay," and then he moves on.
Right.
And then when he loses, he doesn't break down crying. Or if he goes through, top 5, he doesn't break down. He's just so composed, and that's very rare for that age.
Yeah.
So
who was saying was very boring? Is he referring to Ryland?
No, I think Sky Ranger. Who were you referring to?
Oh, is that Dani?
Yeah, I must have been Dani.
All right. Well, he didn't make it, but we move on. Andrew Stanton. This you talk about Danger Acts and the 3Gs. This guy, they showed the judges, hiding and didn't know or hiding behind the table and not knowing what's going to come next and whether this guy's going to get injured. It was definitely an act to watch. The problem is I don't think it's sustainable. I just see injury or him fainting or something, doing the whole act again.
It's part of the mystique.
Yeah.
I loved it. What did I put it? I put it 4, but again, this could have gone anywhere from I think Murmurations was the clear best, but this could have gone anywhere from 2 to 5 to me. I was so upset when this didn't go to 5 because, like I said, my 5 were a clear 5. I thought there were the 5 clear best. Nobody else was close. And I love this act. I'm glued to the TV the whole time, but I love Danger Acts. I love this kind of stuff. Like afterwards, he looked injured, and I love it because, you're giving your body for the performance, and I'm always for that. And it's entertaining. Is it sustainable? I don't know, but I really enjoyed it. I liked everything about this.
I would have been okay.
It was pay to watch it over and over.
Yeah, I would have been okay if he made it in the top 5. Because this is an act that people would go and see just so they could go like this, watch, through their fingers or something. But I agree. I was glued to the set like everybody else. I can't believe this is happening in front of me, but it's one of those acts.
McGavin says over in the YouTube chat, this was the best Danger act in recent memory, but Danger really doesn't do well with America's votes. The majority of people can't even watch what he does. He was in my top 5, but he was 8th in my actual voting predictions. That's fair. I wasn't surprised, I guess, that he wasn't top 5. He was the only one of my top 5 that I was surprised didn't make it, but or that I wasn't surprised didn't make it. And yeah, some people really just don't like Danger Acts. Like McGavin said, is a lot of people turn their head. They think it's like a cool novelty. They're just not into it. And I think an act like this has a hard time winning the show ever.
Yeah, I agree.
So yeah, I'll agree with you there, Gavin. I'll give you that. I just think it's a shame because I love it so much that it's not top 5, but
Well, they could still use them. They might use them in the Las Vegas show
yeah.
just because of what he does. So, all right, Steel Panther, your favorite.
Yeah, so this what is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 5 of the last 6 acts were my top 5. This show was on fire. Literally, like the pictures, these last acts. These last acts were so good. I really, really liked Steel Panther. And the funny thing is, like I've mentioned, I've heard Steel Panther before they were on AGT, and I've never liked Steel Panther. I've never really liked kind of funny rock music. It was never my thing. But both of these Steel Panther performances have made me say, if Steel Panther comes around my area, I might legit buy a ticket. Like, they seem like really good live. And maybe I'm a Steel Panther fan. I never knew it.
Well, they do put on a show, and I can't deny that. And me thinking about it is I can't even remember whether I like the song. I just remember the show. And that it was
Do you remember what the song was called?
I don't even remember that.
It was called Death to All But Metal. And right, I think it was Death to All But Metal, not rock. I think it was metal. But during the song, he was calling for people's death. He was like death to Justin Bieber and like all these things. And then I thought there was a direct shot at Alfie in this song because they said death to Harry Styles. And then everybody started screaming and they were happy. But Alfie sang a Harry Styles song and he said, Harry Styles is my favorite, and I'm going to sing a Harry Styles song. And then later, Steel Panther, they're talking about killing the idol of Alfie. And I'm like, okay, they're both like musician acts. This is a real rivalry we got going here.
Yeah.
Alfie versus Steel Panther, because Steel Panther's like death to all but metal, death to Harry Styles. And we have Alfie saying, I'm not going to sing rock music. I'm just going to sing Harry Styles songs. So I think we got a real rivalry there. I think there's something there.
But those are the kind of lyrics that people would listen to, and from the comical side.
Yeah.
And so the song is almost insignificant. It's just the lyrics.
Yeah.
So.
And the guy's a good singer and they're good musicians. Sure, they're funny songs, but it's good musicianship and good showmanship behind it.
Right. So
I don't know.
I wouldn't have been upset if they were been in the top 2. I just didn't think they would make it to the top 2.
They have a pretty big social media increase too.
Well, not as big as I had expected. I mean, they have like 600, 700,000 social media followers. And so it really wasn't as big of an increase as I thought that they might get from the show.
Because I'm a rock guy and I love music, Steel Panther, if you're listening, out of everybody here, you're not my favorite act. I'll tell you that. I'll just be honest, but I really do like you. But out of everybody in the show, I want to talk to you guys most because I love talking musicians and I'd love to go to your show. So if you're watching, come on with us because I'd really like to talk to you guys.
Yeah, it would be awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I'll ask them again, but I think they're just so big that I don't think my messages even get through. So
yeah, I think we need an in with Steel Panther for.
Yeah, we need to know somebody who knows somebody.
All right, well, let's. I want to throw in one more thing here before we move on. We had 2 acts get X'd this time. They were the Family Singers, Sharpe Family Singers. They got an X, right?
Yep.
And then who was the other one? Let me look at Erica. She got the X. And I was thinking during this stage of the competition, this shows how bad the judging processes of who they put through, that anybody would be X'd during this stage of the competition. Seemed like you'd all be so good. But I don't know. Do they just put through some people that they just want to give X's in round 2, so they put some of these people through? I don't know. But nobody should be getting X's at this stage of the game.
Well, there really shouldn't be, but seeing years pass and acts that seem to get through the live shows is like, how did these people even get there in the first place?
Yeah.
Because they weren't good enough, in my opinion, to get there.
Anyone I would give an X in this round to, I could give an X to in the first round.
Right.
It's not like just somebody I thought was awesome, and I just see, like, I loved Kylan's audition, and then I just X in this round or something. He's not going to be that bad. Well,
I think there might be another issue, and that's that some acts, I think they have a good one-show act, and everything else they do just isn't any good. They just have something unique, one thing, and then when they come to step it up, well, they don't have anything to step up to because they're known for that one thing they do.
Yeah. Kind of like, before we get to the last act, I don't want to get too sidetracked, but when we talk about the results show, the guy they had on, they played that game with the name that tune.
Ricardo Pace. I wish he would have gone through.
He does one thing. Yeah, I thought he should have actually went through when we watched, but I hate those kind of segments. I really do.
Oh,
I hate results shows. But I watch them because I do this. So I watch the whole things. But I only got like 2 of those songs. I thought I would do better. I'm usually pretty good at Name That Tune, but I couldn't get all those.
I couldn't get him from his. I mean, he's actually really good at that. With that thing that he's doing with his hands.
Yeah.
I've never. That's still an amazing ability. And I thought he would have made it to the live shows because I would like to have heard him do another song and maybe even dance to it. So,
all right. Well, we got one more act.
Oops, where are they here? Bam. Whoops, I guess I didn't hit it right. Murmurations. There they are. I think this is also one of those acts that if you're there, it's probably even more impressive than watching it on TV.
Yeah.
Even though, this isn't one of my favorite acts, it still looks really cool. And I'm not upset that they were in the top 5. I'm not upset that they're in the top 2. Because I know that they're really that good and that impressive to watch. So seeing them in a show, I get it. I can see people paying for it.
I really like this act. And I don't remember last week's show mentioning too much about Murmurations, but I really like this type of dance. And I'm not a huge dance fan, but
well, I don't know.
I don't know. This is just so cool. And yeah. I wasn't in love with their audition. I didn't think they should have been a Golden Buzzer. This was more of a Golden Buzzer performance. And as much as I hate to say it, because I love Ryland and I love Ahren, especially, those are my 2 favorites. This deserved to be number 1. I just think it was so cool. I thought it was so unique. And it was just better than the audition.
Yeah, it was really cool to watch. I admit that. But I think I'm on the same page with you with, Ahren and Ryland. That's really who I thought should go through just from these social media numbers. When I made my little video, that's who I thought would go through. But obviously America thought differently. A little bit differently, but I don't even guess. I would guess the numbers weren't even that far apart as far as who the top 3 were.
So you didn't think Murmurations was easily the best?
No.
Wow.
Just from the social media numbers. That's where I made my judgment. From the math.
Interesting. So in the chat, I just put over all the people, a list of the people who will be on the show next week.
Oh.
And that just but that did not go through like I was hoping. It's all bunched up.
Well, I put a small list on the end here. It's not that detailed.
Oh, you put a list on there?
Yes,
Okay.
I did.
Cool.
This time.
All right, good. Then people can see it. Because I was thinking I wasn't sure. Yeah, I couldn't remember if we had a list. I was like, oh,
okay. Well, just so you know, I am okay that Murmuration went through. And
yeah, I thought that would universally be agreed upon that was the best. I mean, when they got to the results show, I was like, oh, obviously they're going to leave Murmurations at the end to be announced because everybody knows they're going through. Whoever goes against them. What was that when they were going through to the final 5? I remember seeing Erica's face because she was with 3, the last group of 3, and what I think it was like her, Murmurations, and Steel Panther. And you could see her face like, I'm cooked.
Yeah.
There's no way.
All these that they put together, now that you bring that up, I did write that down. So Atlanta Drum Academy against Dani Kerr. That one was kind of obvious which one would go through. Ahren with Andrew Stanton, to me, was obvious. Alfie and the Sharpe Family Singers.
No way. Stanton was like, I was so mad because that was the first 2 to get in the final 5, I thought had no business.
Well, but they put him up against Ahren, so it was pretty obvious who was going through.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that Ahren. Yeah. I was thinking of Andrew. Sorry.
No. Then Alfie with the Sharpe family was obvious who was going through there. Ryland and 3G. I mean, that these must have been acts on that different end of the spectrum as far as the numbers go. So, but Steel Panther and Murmuration, I would have been okay with either one of them would have gone through. So, once again, America did well. Of course, my list is a little bit smaller here than yours.
Well, that's because it went through a million times.
Let's see if I can. That's got a show thing. Is that better?
Oh, there we go. Yeah, we can read that. Oh, well.
Yeah, maybe that is better. I kind of did put a list together of my top 5. Did you do the same?
Kind of.
Okay. Well, my top 5, and then I'll tell you who I think the 2 are that are going to continue on. So my top 5 are Putri, Ariani, Summer Rios, Trig Watson, Barry Brewer Jr., and the Mazanzi Youth Choir. Those are the top 5, I think.
Is that that's who you think is going?
Will be the top 5, yeah.
It's always hard for me to do who I think versus who I want because those always seem to be the same. Let me see here. Her one. Okay, he is the sword swallower. Okay, I gotta go. He's got to be one of them. Not the tap dancer. That is not going anywhere.
You know why?
The youth choir will go through. Parent Jam. Oh my gosh. I remember seeing the preview of this, and I'm like, this show is going to be horrible. Man, The violinist is going to go through. He shouldn't. Philip.
You think he's going to go through?
I think he's going to go through. Trig's going to go through. He has to. And man, who is the fourth? I don't. No, not Warrior Squad. Oh man, I'm looking at him right now. I'm trying to think. So I had three. For sure, my three are the Sword Swallower, Herwin, Trig Watson, the musician, and the youth choir. That's three. That's my top three. I can't even do a five because the rest of these aren't good enough for me to even think much about. So I don't know.
Didn't like Barry Brewer, did you? He was the guy on the piano.
No, and I didn't think he was funny.
No. Well, I thought he was.
But I'm a little hard on comedians. So yeah, I think I just gotta go with youth choir and Trig. I'm gonna say those are gonna be the top two that go through. And then Sword Swallower guy is gonna be three. That's all I can do.
Okay.
I can't even make a prediction for five.
Now, I was thinking about Justin Jackson. We were watching a movie with or a video or something with Steve Martin and somebody else.
Why don't we put down the name on the screen so they can see us here?
Oh yeah. Hi. And they were doing a tap dance, and they were dancing, and they were singing, and doing a show. And the problem with Justin Jackson is all he can do is tap dance that I know of. Now, if he comes out and tap dance and sings and does something else and plays a trumpet or something, then that's an act. That's something worth watching.
Yeah, I might be a little more interested in it. I'm just not a tap dance fan, so I wasn't interested in the audition. But if he sings, if he plays a trumpet, maybe if he even brings out a cane, or he brings out a girl and dances with them and throws her into the air. I don't know, but something more than just tap dancing. I've got to see something more.
Well, all the big stars at tap dance that we all know of, the Fred Astaire, I think he tap danced. Bing Crosby, I think did he tap dance too?
I don't know. Wouldn't surprise me.
In any case, all these actors from years gone by who tap danced, that was just one of their many entertainment tools.
Tap dancing to me,
you got to do more.
Tap dancing to me works as comedy. And what I mean by that is a lot of the old shows you watch, when they have these good-looking guys that tap dance, because it's usually good-looking guys that tap dance. They're always singing and it's a musical, and then they're like happy and they start tap dancing. But it's fun. Like you're kind of laughing. It's a funny song too they're doing. So it's not that tap dancing is just funny, but it's usually put into something comedic. You generally don't watch tap dancing in a drama movie. Somebody's about to die, or I'm just so sad. My mom was just killed in a car accident, and I'm like tap dancing, talking about it. It's always I'm in love, or something funny's happening, and they tap dance.
Right. So if he comes out and does that, then I will change my mind on him.
Yeah. I don't think he will, but if he does,
if he's watching videos, he's just in tap dance competitions or break dancing, and that's not. That's.
And I say, bring somebody out with you. Grab an assistant real quick. Get somebody that's pretty. Bring her out with you. Tap dance and do a story. You can have a song behind it, and you're trying to give her flowers, and she's like, "I don't want the flowers," and you're like, "Please, I love you," while you're tap dancing. You got to do a story or something.
Well, it might be too late, and I don't know if the producers are listening to us, the ones who help map out their act, but maybe they should be.
Yeah, listen to us before it's too late. Hopefully it's
That's
not.
right.
The parent, I don't know if I can sit through Phil Wright and Parent Jam, but I'm going to do it for the love of the show. this show that we're doing. Oh no, hang on. I forgot. I'm going back on my top 3. Because what's her face is gonna be on it. What's it? Parady or Putri? The blind girl, right?
Right.
Yeah, she's going through.
She'll be in the top 2.
She's gonna be in the top 5. All right, I gotta.
No, she'll be in the top 2.
This pains me to say, but I'm gonna have to get rid of friend of the show, Trig Watson. I don't want to. You're in my top 2, Trig, if you're watching. I don't want to do this, but I think Putri and the youth choir are gonna beat you. They shouldn't beat you, but they're gonna beat you. I switch my So I'll put Sword Swallower and Trig. That's 4.
Okay.
So yeah, Putri and youth choir are gonna go through this. They're gonna be top 2.
Well, maybe I have my heart in it less than you do, because lots of these acts that I'm thinking are going through, I'm just basing off the numbers, not whether I like them or not. If I had to pick the ones that I like, then I would pick Putri. I would probably pick Summer Rios, Barry Brewer, Trig Watson, and that's where it ends. Everybody else doesn't even need to be there. Show up.
I just gotta follow my heart. When I'm making these predictions, I've got to believe in the good of mankind, that they can make good decisions. And episode 1, they didn't. And I asked the AGT universe to show me that there's some good left. People in episode 2, they did. So I'm hoping, even if the 2 I don't think should get through, even if the 2 that I think should get through don't, I'm hoping worthy people do. I hope at least we get worthy people, because I do not want to sit through a bad finale, because I don't want to be sitting here on finale night with you saying, how did this person get in the finale? And I don't want to say that 5 or 6 times.
Me neither. But that's a show that I'd like to go to. Now, maybe some of the producers will watch us and say that we need to broadcast live from the finale.
Yeah, we can go to LA. Oh, no, it's in Vegas, right?
The finale?
I think the live shows are in Vegas. Or is that where they're doing the live ones?
Still in Pasadena.
Are they still in California?
They used to do all the live shows in the Dolby Theater, but they must have got some sort of contract deal, or it was too expensive, so they stayed in Pasadena.
I swear that they were in California for the auditions, but then they moved to Vegas for these live shows. I could be wrong. Somebody's in the chat. Tell us who's right, because it seems to me that they're in Vegas right
now. I don't think no.
No, maybe they're not.
Maybe
they always just show Vegas.
So the auditions that I went to were in Pasadena.
Okay.
I knew
that one.
At the time when I went to the live shows, those were all in the Dolby Theater off of Hollywood Boulevard. But this year, and maybe last year, I can't remember. They have moved or kept everything in Pasadena. And probably because the theater's cheaper. And I think I mentioned on here, the last time I auditioned, what I got for my audition number, did I mention that? Was a raffle ticket.
Yeah.
So I know that
they repeat it for all the people that haven't heard it.
Yeah. Well, the whole thing, the whole audition?
Sure.
Okay. Well, this was in the Monzingo Hotel, which is actually an Indian reservation. And this was just kind of after the COVID thing was coming to an end. So this was basically the first live audition opportunity, or it's the only live audition location they had for the whole season. And that was for this year, as a matter of fact. And so everything else was online audition only, or sent in a video, etc. There was it wasn't like in years past before COVID where they had like 5 cities, 6 cities, and like Detroit and Los Angeles where you go to the hotel and audition. So any case, this particular one you had to sign up for online, and so you couldn't just show up like in years past. You actually had to sign up and pick a time slot ish that you would be there, and you couldn't show up just willy-nilly. So any case, I showed up there at probably 7:30 in the morning, and my experience from years past was like 500 people in line. When I went to this thing, there was like 17 in line at the hotel. I thought, wow, this is going to be really weird. And so, and it was really quiet. In the past, I always had props and places where you could take pictures and all this kind of stuff and practice your act and all this kind of stuff. Well, they didn't have that. So in any case, we went in line, and then we went into where you fill out your paperwork or sign or verify who you are. And in years past, they always gave you a fancy sticker with AGT on it, a big, 8-digit number, and you stuck it on your clothes. And then when they called your number, then you went and auditioned. Well, this particular year, they didn't have any stickers. They gave out they had raffle tickets. And I don't know what those look like, just the little things. I thought, wow, I think they must be, must have had to make some budget cuts. And the stickers went away. And then we went into a room where we had to wait, and there were like, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 acts in there waiting in the room with me. They had, I think, 2 audition rooms, maybe 3, where they take the groups in. In years past, they had, oh my goodness, there are gobs of people everywhere, and but they didn't have it this year. And they usually, and everybody had to wear a mask. I remember that too. And I said, well, can I take off my mask and take a picture? Oh yeah, that's fine. So I remember I was the first one who went up and took a picture by the side, and then everybody thought, oh, that's a good idea. So everybody else started taking a picture. But that was the one where I took my blow-up doll called Vinyl. And and I thought it would get me on the show, and it obviously didn't. But I remember the staff came out and took a picture of me and said, "That's okay, isn't it?" Oh yeah, sure, take a picture of me with this thing. But I've never seen it on the show, so I don't know what they did with it. And then we went and did our act, and they had 5 people. I remember the producer was in there. I've had him before. He's I don't remember the guy's name, but he's a guy from the UK. He has an accent, glasses, kind of balding, if I remember right. But I'm sure somebody here who's on the show knows everybody's name. In any case, we did our audition, and then everybody leaves the room. If they call somebody back, then maybe you have a chance, but they didn't call anybody back in. And then they said, okay, you all got to leave. So we walked out into the hallway where we came in, where our line was, and there was nobody waiting to get in. So that was really different to me. So I don't know if people just didn't want to get out, or if the place was too far out of the way to go. There was a guy that I met there who was from, I don't remember what state, Kentucky or someplace, middle of nowhere. And he's auditioned, I think he said, 16 years in a row. It's still never gone on. But
well, Miles, I think do we have any final thoughts here?
Final thoughts are, I hope next week's a really good week, and lots of these acts have good polished things to show us.
I haven't said this much this season, but this was a really good show. I really liked the second half. Hated the first half. Love the second half. We were talking about this before we came on the air. I believe it was before we came on the air. Just so people know. And if you'd like this, leave a comment for us or something. I don't know how many people are interested in. But we were talking about trying to get on Spotify. Probably just an audio version of this, I would assume.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
So if you want to find the Miles Revolution, 2 Freaks doing a show on Spotify, maybe someday we'll be on there sooner than later. So that'll be nice if you're going for a jog or something and you can't watch the video and you just want to listen to the audio, you can listen to the recording of that. And as always, we just always ask if you like us. You hear all YouTubers say this, but leave us a like. It helps us. Leave us a comment if you'd like. Just let us know that you're there. Subscribe to the Miles Revolution channel on YouTube. That's where you will find this show, Two Freaks Doing a Show, as well as a bunch of other music and other crazy, wild stuff that Miles is doing. If you want to follow me, you can find me on Twitter at MixLumOfficial. I just made that a little bit ago, so I'm just starting my followers just now, about 2 weeks ago, perhaps. And you can always find us live right here on YouTube, on Twitch, Facebook, on Twitter. Not on Instagram yet, but maybe one day. You can find us at 6 o'clock Pacific, 7 o'clock Mountain, 8 o'clock Central, and 9 o'clock Eastern. So we love you all. Thank you for joining us. And I am Mixlum. He is the Miles Revolution. We are Two Freaks Doing a Show. We will see you next time.